Flash. Owen Curtis is who is a listener to our podcast is his choice this week, and what a choice it is, eh? I can't remember the last time I saw this. Gotta easily be probably when I was a teenager, but yeah, it hasn't aged well, is it?
I'm going to say it now. This film was appalling.
Did you actually finish it?
I hate Owain for nominating this film.
Oh,
There's a reason.
As I said to you in the chat last night, he is no longer my friend.
There's probably a reason Prague hasn't seen him for however many years, and he won't see him again for another X amount of years.
No.
I said just now that it hasn't aged well. I don't think it's ever been a decent film, has it? I don't know. I think I got some enjoyment out of it when I was younger.
Yeah, I did too. I think I certainly haven't seen it for well over 30 years, and it was in. I always remember this was a prime Sunday afternoon ITV film. Yeah, and I liked it when I was a kid, and I think there was bits of it I enjoyed when watching it back the other night.
There are elements for me that I got some enjoyment from, but I was watching it, and I think I said this to Ev the other day, and so I'll repeat it for the podcast. I sat there watching, I just thought it's just like 1960s Batman meets Battleship Galactica or Buck Rogers, because it's like uber camp, and then tries to be in space, and it just doesn't do it justice, I don't think. I don't know.
I can take camp, but I can take camp. You know how long it took me to watch this last night?
How many breaks did you have to have?
3 hours it took me to watch this film.
I'm not the only one. Yes.
No, but the difference is you have breaks in the middle of a good film.
Oh well.
I had to pause. Like I think I paused 3 times because I just couldn't handle it. I'm gonna say now. The dialogue is awful. I don't know what are they talking about half the time? Are they? And how much research have you done on this? Because a
little bit, not a huge amount, admittedly.
Okay, because I was going to ask, have they just ripped the dialogue from one of the serials, one of the comic books, perhaps?
No, because it is very different from the source material. Basically, what's his name? I think it's maybe the producer.
Dino De Laurentiis.
Yeah. So he hired a screenwriter. So this might answer some of your question. Yeah. He hired a screenwriter who worked on the 1960s Batman. And it's strange that I had that thought while watching it. And so he was a writer on that. But the source material, I believe, is grittier than what the film is. I admittedly, I don't know much about this from what I've read. But there's been a talk of a remake for a number of years. And I was saying to Ev, who's the director that did Thor Ragnarok? Yeah, he's attached to it to direct a remake. So I do wonder whether he would then take it down that route of where Thor is at the moment. So you still have some comedy in it, but it'd probably be a more up-to-date version.
I think this is prime for a remake. I think this would be brilliant.
I think there's enough people out there who have a bit of nostalgia to it. But yeah, just do it 10 times better. It's a little bit like Dread, I suppose. When they did that in the, what was it, 95 was Dread? I can't remember, 96 maybe. And it just deviated so much from the source material.
Yeah.
I would watch Dread 100 times before rewatching this.
The Stallone one you're on about.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd watch it for Stallone. And who else is in it? Is it who's the
Rob
Rob
Schneider.
Schneider's in it as well. And I laugh at times at Rob Schneider, obviously, because he's a comedian. But yeah, I would as well. I think the problem is you've got a lead actor, and they were, what's his name? Is it Sam Thomas? I can't remember his name.
Sam Jones, I think.
Sam Jones. Whatever his name is, right? And I think they were trying to make him the next big thing, weren't they, at the time? And it didn't work at all.
Well, he had a falling out with the producers, didn't he? So half the film was dubbed.
Well, it's sort of unconfirmed that whether it was dubbed or not, or how much of it is dubbed. There's definitely elements of it, and I do wonder then, if they try to like take it a different direction in post with the dubbing. I don't know. It's not great. The film originally was going to be a trilogy, and it flopped and bombed so much that it they didn't do it. And I may as well say it now, right? So it had a budget of around either 20 or 27 million, and then it returned 46. So okay. You could say it possibly made a profit time you put all the marketing and everything into it.
Well, if the budget was 20 million, it might have made a profit. If the budget's 27 million, it wouldn't have made a profit.
I just think they pitched it totally wrong. And I think you were right, Prog. There's just the dialogue is shocking. And then it makes the actors look really bad.
But part of me was like, okay, Flash Gordon, I don't remember it being great, but I was like, I'll watch it because I quite like the cast. Or should I say some of the cast?
Yeah.
I think I've spoken about my admiration for Timothy Dalton before. He was bad in this. And I think it's because of how the part is written.
I agree. Who's Ming the Merciless? Christopher Plummer?
No, Max von Sydow.
I always get the two mixed up. And like, I think not in theory, but he's probably the best thing that I think that comes out of it.
Yeah.
But this is my favorite aspect. I got a massive soft spot for him. Just Brian Blessed. But I think because that type of film plays in his favor, where he can be totally over the top. He's a theatre actor originally, wasn't he? So he's able to bring that to the film. But I do love him in it.
Come on, my Hawkman!
Everything shouting, shout everything.
Did you I got to ask you both before I go through the cast. Did you notice a connection to Harry Potter in the film?
Yeah, Robbie Coltrane.
Yes.
Oh yeah, isn't he like fleeting? You hardly see him.
He's at the start when Flash goes on the plane. He's the bloke that closes the door and gives him his luggage.
Right. So I saw that in the facts and the research that I was doing afterwards, but I didn't see him in the film at all. So that's interesting. Hagrid. Come on, Ev. Oh well. Before we go into Ev's cast, have you got any good aspects of this, bro?
I didn't mind Max von Sydow as Ming. I thought he did well with what he was given, and I think if he'd been given a better role or better dialogue, I think he would have been really good.
Yeah, no, I agree. So Adam, I think was
Can
trying
I just
to
say as well, sorry, I did think a couple of the sets were quite good. I thought they were interesting and visually looked quite good for the time, obviously. But yeah, that's all I got.
Which ones?
I quite like Ming's, the main hall.
Oh yeah.
Where it was decorated like communist China.
Bit of casual racism there.
This is interesting because Adam, I think, was trying to bait us a little bit on text, and he said something along the lines: "Is the portrayal of Ming a little bit racist?" And I don't think it is, because he's not Asian.
No,
is he? He's like he's what is it, Mongo or whatever it is?
Yeah, Look, the fashion or style can be influenced by Eastern culture. It's okay. You would have had a problem if you turned around and Max von Sydow has got something with his eyes going on.
And
That's when you know. That's when you know you're in trouble.
And a really bad sort of Asian sort of
Accent.
accent. I always think back to Mickey Rooney in Breakfast at Tiffany's,
Oh,
where they've literally taped his eyes back as well. It's so bad.
do you know what? That's still quite a good film.
It's a consideration. I think I'd love to do like a 50s, 60s movie anyway. But have you got a favorite aspect?
Just do me a favor, right? If Owain is going to nominate any more films, just tell him to buck his ideas up, will you?
I remember before he gave us a massive list, and I lost it. I can't remember what it was.
I take part of the blame for his last nomination because he said a Bond film, and I suggested the worst Bond film ever, and I didn't realize it was that bad at the time. So
you're not passing that book, really.
Oh no, I just said I'll hold my hands up for that. But it is partly Owain's fault because he got me to say that film.
What were you saying about our favorite aspect? Yeah, the soundtrack.
Really?
I'm going to question this as well, Ev.
No. I got a bit of a caveat here. Not the orchestral bit, but the Queen. I'm
still questioning it.
Yeah, can I jump on the back of this, Ev? Obviously, if you like it, you like it. My concern is that I was sitting down thinking, at least I'm gonna, whatever else happens, I'm gonna hear some belting Queen music. I think I only heard two different tracks from them.
Yeah.
Like the main theme was throughout the film, and I haven't got a problem with that. But when it's the repetitive dun 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 for an hour and a half, it is a bit of a problem. Did you boys catch any other songs or pieces of music? Did I miss any?
I think it was just plays on that, really, because you could tell, I think, when the Queen stuff came in, because of obviously the double tracking guitars and and all that. I mean, I think my dad used to have the album on vinyl, but I can't remember what was on. It was a full album. It wasn't like, it's not a patch on A Kind of Magic, which is the Highlander soundtrack, but it wasn't bad from what I can remember.
Right, we've got Flash's theme, in the space capsule, Ming's theme, The Ring. There's quite a lot of different themes, and they're all Queen. I didn't realize Queen had done them. I've got an issue, right, with Flash Gordon. It's probably one of my least favorite Queen songs, right? And you guys know I love a bit of Queen. Grew up on it. But because I'm not a huge fan of it, it's a little bit like I'm not a huge fan of Ghostbusters theme. And because I think you just hear it over and over again. And you're right in this prog. It just seems that it's very repetitive throughout. One element of the song I do love is the key change, where it goes, just a man, and that bit. I love that bit of the song, but the rest of it, I think because I've heard it so much.
I will say Brian May ripped a good solo for the wedding march.
Yeah. I just look at this and I think would I listen to the Flash Gordon soundtrack, or would I want to listen to the Highlander soundtrack?
Oh yeah, it's chalk and cheese. You got
Highlander every time for me. Yeah.
Dirty Dancing for me, but let's carry on.
Didn't know Queen did that.
Moving swiftly on. Do you want to go through the cast, because there's a lot of people in here, mind?
Come on then.
No, we got to make this podcast go 40 minutes, so go on in.
I know. First of all, Hans Zarkov has a Bond connection in Topol, who was Columbo. No, yeah, Columbo in For Your Eyes Only. If you remember that.
I'm gonna have to bring up the cast myself, I think.
Um,
It'd be better if Columbo was in it. Just one more question.
Al Columbo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, you got Timothy Dalton, Brian Blessed, Max von Sydow, and a young Richard O'Brien in there as well from the Crystal Maze.
Before he hit his peak on Crystal Maze, isn't it?
Yeah.
I used to love Crystal Maze.
I'd be here forever. Right. Here's a quick segue.
He's still going. Richard O'Brien. Yeah.
He looks like he's had cancer for the last 50 years, doesn't he?
What? Just because he's bald?
Well,
but
he's always looked gaunt, and he's always just has that like flushed look about him.
Yeah, but he used to apparently, and I don't know if I got this right or not, but he used to wear a wig out in public. That when he was walking around they just normally like go to the shops or whatever, he put a wig on. Whereas for TV and whatever, he take it off, go bald.
I wonder if that was a way to keep his anonymity.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably. But what's your favourite zone in Crystal Maze?
Oh,
I was a fan of the Aztec.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you normally
Aztec.
had like water elements and things to that then, and then they'd have to like go off and get changed and come back and join them later.
I think mine was I quite like the futuristic zone.
Oh yeah. Like you're like in all the space, and you had to like go from like planet to planet in one of those games.
Well, it was a space station, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, mine was added. It was either medieval or ocean zone for me. Remember Ocean Zone?
It was like a ship, wasn't it? Ocean Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Medieval.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one. I don't mind that.
I'll pick 2, Ev.
All right. Then I'll go for medieval because it's the.
There's only 4 zones.
No, there was 5. They
No,
brought in ocean.
They changed it, didn't they? Didn't they take one away and bring a new one in? I could be wrong.
Okay.
They may have done that on like what's his name's watch, Tudor Tadpole.
Oh no!
Whatever.
O'Brien had a time in ocean.
Oh,
yeah, but Tudor Pole, we forget about that.
Tudor Tadpole. Yeah. Right, come on, Ev. Finish up this cast. What have we got?
That was it, really.
Oh,
to be honest.
Now. But you got the guy who was in Willy Wonka. He's in it. Deep Roy.
Oh yes, yeah, and yes.
And what's his name? Philip Stone. Is that his name? I'm trying to find it now. You'd know him.
Philip Stone is in it.
Yeah, Philip Stone. He was in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, I think. Anyway, he's got a sort of face you'd recognise.
Yeah, he's the captain. Captain Philip Blumbert.
And
him. He was in The Shining as well, wasn't he?
Yes. He was the caretaker, wasn't he? Was he Grady? He was Grady.
That's it, yeah.
They needed correcting, sir. Great scene that is.
Is that when he's in the toilet?
Have we done The Shining?
No, we should. We need to do that soon. And we might need to think ahead about Halloween this year.
Okay.
But I
why don't we just discuss it now instead of discussing this?
Well, we may as well.
I got loads of other comments, but I'll save them for changes anyway.
Right. What about scenes? Anything? I know Prog has said about the scene sort of background. Has anyone got anything that stands out that they thought, that was quite good?
Nothing. I got nothing.
I really liked how we beat everyone up by playing football.
Yeah.
I didn't. It's terrible. Flash! She gives him that bloody metal ball. Oh, come on.
Yeah. Go, Flash, go. Yeah.
It's like he suddenly put that thing in his arms and then he could magically just destroy everyone.
This is superpower. Also, wasn't he a quarterback?
Yeah.
He's not like running back at anything.
Quarterbacks can't run with the ball like that.
Flash can.
There's no Shane Falco.
Flash can. He can do it all.
But
Yeah, so I haven't got a favourite scene either. Although that scene made me laugh. And if I had to pick anything with Brian Blessed in.
Yeah, it was good. It was quite a touching moment, but yeah, it was proper cringy when Flash is going down with the ship and what's his name, Voltron or something, or Voltan.
Well,
He's
Fulton, yeah.
yeah. Come on, Flash. No, I want to stay with the ship. Oh, okay.
I just love how it's just like his booming voice on everything.
are you crazy?
I reckon he's the only actor they didn't have to like catch up in the studio or ask to come back and do
Probably, yeah.
lines.
One take, Brian. Oh, go on, Brian.
Before we get into changes, do you know that George Lucas tried to develop this for a number of years before he
I
did
wish he had, but
before he did American Graffiti?
Really? Wow.
But he
Yeah,
just
I
couldn't
wish
get
he-
past red tape, and then rest is history because he developed Star Wars instead.
yeah, I wish he had, because this film would have been miles better. But I'm glad he didn't, because we had Star Wars instead.
And one fact that I've got, which I think you're going to like, Prog, that who's the producer again? Dino De Laurentiis.
Yeah.
He wanted a young Kurt Russell to play the lead role.
Imagine Kurt. That would have just elevated the film instantly, wouldn't it?
Turned it down because he didn't feel the character had enough personality.
Which is not wrong.
No. Also, another favorite of the podcast, Arnold Schwarzenegger was then up for the post, but he turned it down because the Austrian accent. And then the producers considered Dennis Hopper for Dr. Zarkov.
Well, Dennis Hopper's. If they had Dennis Hopper and Kurt Russell in there, they would have gone up an extra 2 points in my book,
From 0 to 2.
from -1 to 1.
And we, look, I think we all really like those actors, but
Yeah.
you ultimately can't get past a bad script, I don't think.
Do you know what I wonder? Can you imagine if they'd signed on to do the film and then they'd been sent that script? Like, I'm thinking of someone like Dennis Hopper or Kurt Russell now. Like, they know, certainly Dennis Hopper at that time, he would know what a good script is. I wonder if he would have read that dialogue and thought, what is this?
No, exactly. Come on, let's get these changes out of the way.
Go on,
Can
Prog.
I go first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not so much a change, but it's a very, very dodgy observation. Basically, Ming the Merciless, whatever his name is, he date rapes his ladies. Every
I know, yeah.
like yeah, whatever that magical potion is, it basically he roofies them to make it more bearable to have sex with him.
Yeah, and then he gets the ring out, doesn't he? He gets the ring out as foreplay.
Well,
Don't even talk to me about the ring.
the ring that he uses once at the very beginning, you think, bloody hell, that's a powerful piece of kit. Doesn't use it again until the very end.
No,
You have to
I
charge
tried
it up.
to use it right at the end, but he can't because his powers are fading.
Yeah.
Oh.
Awful.
I'm just going through my notes here, and I've just noted as well, Prog, the dialogue with the basic, it's in the Queen song, but the one line, Flash, I love you, even though I only met you 10 minutes ago, but we only have 14 hours to save the world.
Yeah.
It's iconic, right? Because it's in the song, but it's so crap and corny. Oh, my word.
Yeah. What a way to put pressure on. He's just met the girl, and it's like, oh, I love you, and then you've only got 14 hours to save the entire Earth. Oh.
What about the scene where he's trying to telekinesis or telepathically talk to Dale while he's got Princess Aura straddling him? And I'm just like, oh, what is this all about? Don't even get me started on Princess Aura. She's a beautiful woman, right? But the character is all over the place in this film. Like, I understand that she's meant to be, what's the term? A man-eater. is it? Or
Siren.
Siren, that's a better way of putting it, yeah. She curries favour by obviously having romantic relations with all these men. But she falls in love with Flash after 5 minutes when Timothy Dalton's standing there. Give me a break, like.
Yeah, and then but then on the flip side though, like Timothy Dalton just calls her a lying bitch, and then like half an hour later, he's like, "You came, yay!"
I know. Do you know when Dalton said that in the film? I forgot all about that. It really like took me back. Like I was like, "Whoa, that was a bit harsh." But then you find out through the film that she kind of is. So.
Oh, I've just gone through my notes. One favorite aspect though is Ming's bed. The size on that bed though, imagine that. You could be like, you could be rolling over and over and over and not get to the other side for a week. Oh, it's amazing. If you want, if you want a bit of space or whatever, you could starfish about 10 times on that bed. Put Shaquille O'Neal's Superman bed to shame.
How many did he have in his harem?
Half a dozen, I would have thought.
Yeah, thought so.
Do you know what? Who's a better, not actor, but a better version of Ming the Merciless? And that's. Do you remember Defenders of the Earth?
Yes,
he was the bad guy in that, wasn't he?
Did he?
Yeah,
Oh,
that was a really good Ming. Defenders of the Earth.
Going back to Princess Aura though, like she brings Flash back from the dead, and then quickly wants to jump on him. I mean, like, come on, he's just come back from the dead. Give him a little, a bit of breathing space to get his match fitness back. Let's be fair.
She gets her own way, don't she?
You know that thing they used to bring him back from the dead? Why didn't Ming's men use it to bring Ming back?
But was he really dead though? Because Ming picks up the ring at the end, doesn't he? And then you hear him cackle.
Well, they left it open for the other two that they were supposed to have in the trilogy, didn't they? So he's not dead.
How's he come back again?
Don't know. Special Mongo powers.
Another stupid decision that they don't give any explanation for. Do you know what really frustrated me, right, about this film? Is just like the change of topic was just without warning. Every time someone was having a conversation, they'd start talking about something else. And you'd be like, what's going on? Why are we talking about this now? Do you know when they first got, do you know when they went up in that rock? I can't even talk. There's so many things going through my head at the moment. Right. Who's the NASA scientist?
Dr. Zargoff, or whatever his name is.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
He basically entraps Flash and Dale in that rocket, gets them up to wherever they are, and Dale and Flash are fine with him after that.
Yeah.
I'd be I'd be like, what are you doing, mate? There's no sort of antagonistic attitude towards him after that. They're all like lovey-dovey, we got to get back to Earth together. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. Oh, I can't even think.
But he was a bit mental, wasn't he, Zarkov? But then, you gotta appreciate the balls on his helper guy, who immediately, even though he was, threatened at gunpoint to help him launch the rocket, he was like, no, not me, no, and just walked off. Yeah, it's just great.
He was in Indiana Jones film as well, wasn't he?
What was his name?
William Hootkins. He was in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Trying to find him.
I think he was the kid.
Oh, he's in Star Wars.
Oh, is he? He's in loads of them, is he? Oh no, he was in the first. He was in the first Raiders. He was in the first Indiana Jones film. I think he's with the American government when they come to ask Indy if he'll go after the Ark.
Good shout, he is. I think that is him.
Yeah. Can I just say now, right, that I have not been disappointed by a film this much since we watched Short Circuit again.
Can I tell you something? We're short on a movie, aren't we? From a listener. for this week, because this week's obviously was Flash Gordon. So for the Wheel of Doom, I asked my mate Brian, and he suggested Short Circuit 2, knowing how much we hated the first one. So I said, no, you gotta give me another one.
Oh.
What, he deliberately gave you that?
Yeah, because he knew we slated it. So here's a question for you then. Is it worse? Is this worse than Short Circuit?
Okay, so which one would I rather rewatch again?
I know what I do. Mine's Short Circuit.
I think I probably would,
Anything that's got Harris in it, Sergeant Harris, or whatever his name is. What's his name in real life?
G.W. Bailey.
Yeah.
And Gutenberg.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's his dad, isn't it? He's got to keep it in the family.
Daddy Gutenberg, Daddy Steve.
Daddy Goots. What's the other awful films we've watched lately? Mac and Me.
Yeah.
What? Didn't I pick something the other day?
Or Combat Academy.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Where would you rank this against those two?
Combat Academy is bottom of the pile for me. I'll never ever want to see that again.
Worse than Mac.
I'd watch Mac and Me over this and over Combat Academy.
You'd watch Mac and Me over Flash?
Yeah, I think I would.
Yeah, I'd probably be the same just for the McDonald's dance sequence, because
you know what, you're not wrong there. Actually,
I got a bit of love out of Mac and Me.
That section, although the film is horrific, that section actually did bring a smile to my face. Whereas Flash Gordon and Combat Academy, they just frustrated the hell out of me. I couldn't cope with it.
Mac and Me's dance sequence is like Flight of the Navigator's robot romp for you.
Whoa.
No, what I'm saying
whoa.
is it gave you that smile on your face when it happened.
The slander! How dare you?
If anyone's listening to this,
romp scene is all time. Don't ever do that again.
If anyone's listening to this over like podcasting, the look of sheer disgust and disdain on Prog's face there. If looks could kill.
Robot romp scene is only bettered in movie history by the Indianapolis speech in Jaws and the animal politics scene in The Fly. I'd put the robot romp third.
Music helps on that one. Come on, any more changes?
Yeah, go on. I got a couple. The uniforms, especially like the guards at the start when they're leading them down into Ming's palace. Looks as though like they've just gone on a shopping binge in Home Bargains and just bought all like the kids' plastic shields and just stuck them on places. It was just bizarre. And like later on, when Zarkov becomes like a secret agent or whatever, he looks like Rasputin, doesn't he? Yeah.
Do you know what I didn't? Oh, sorry, I just remembered something. Do you know what I didn't understand? Dalton and his men had captured Flash and put him in that cage that goes under the water, the wooden cage that goes under the water. Then they send Richard O'Brien in to fake escape so they could just catch Flash again. There was no point to the escape, was there?
Wasn't it so then they could maybe like execute him or whatever?
Why didn't they just do that anyway?
Well, it's justification. That's all, the only thing I took from it.
There was, the effects were a joy to behold. I think the CGI backgrounds at times.
I think CGI is yeah,
CGI. And when Cletus that when he dies and you see the eyeballs and the tongue just pop out, I thought that was quite funny. And also one of the when Flash is like attacking them or something on the ship, one of Ming's commanders issues an order saying reduce philosophy. What are you on about? Reduce philosophy?
Maybe just had a list. Yeah, just had a list, Ben. Oh, that scene. You know when Flash is on that like space bike thing? Oh, it
Yeah.
winds me up every time.
Don't even get me started on how he managed to find that. Like he falls down. He like manages to fall into a tube, and at the end of the tube is this device that he can escape on. That what's his name? Who's the flying prince? Vulcan. Why didn't he tell Flash about that to begin with? Oh, we got a couple of ships downstairs if you want to get out on them. What? Where's that come from?
Yeah.
Because it looks cool. I don't know.
Ridiculous, man.
I know you said you like it, Prog, right? But you know the wedding march. Why do they have like a massive rock song there?
But why not, eh?
The rest of the film, yeah. Why not? May as well do something with it. Wow. Oh my god. Everyone else, here we go. Come on. Let's wrap this up.
That's it. I'm done.
The only last thing for me, I mentioned a remake. It's supposedly. I had a name of it. I've lost it. Sorry. So, final fact. Shit. Like the rest of this film. So, would you recommend? I wouldn't. Apart from, go to YouTube. No. Go to YouTube and just Google. I'm sure it's out there. Brian Blessed's part, or all Brian Blessed parts in Flash Gordon, and just watch that bit. It's all you need to watch. But I wouldn't recommend it. No. Ev?
No, I was just waiting for the parts from Flash, the Queen song. It's like, open fire, all weapons. Yeah.
And Prog?
Gordon's alive.
I would rather watch Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon's shaving Ryan's privates. All right.
Schindler's Fist.
Exactly. So going on to the Wheel of Doom, Ev, over to you. Will you bring up the infamous wheel? So we have a couple of outstanding ones, not outstanding films, but films that are outstanding, are currently in the list, and that's True Romance by Baron Leach.
Still there.
It's still there, yeah. Since Owain had Flash Gordon, Ryan, one of our other listeners, he's chosen Frailty.
Oh,
Bill Paxton, 2001 film.
Yeah, I like that one.
So I think he's redeemed himself there by, even though he originally was Short Circuit 2.
Yeah.
The booby film is Day of the Dead, House of the Dead.
I think it's House of the Dead.
House of the Dead. Yeah, this is Adam's choice as a booby film.
Yeah.
And then, sort of over to you guys then, while I bring up my list, if that's okay.
Can I get a request here?
Go on.
After the last few weeks that we've been through, can we just, try and make an effort to pick films that we think are going to be decent? Because last week was a horror show.
I went back through my list and I took out all those ones which, are going to be shit. So hopefully some good ones this week.
And also, if there's any chance, pick something that's on Netflix so I don't have to pay for it.
You don't want much, do you?
Those are my requirements.
All right. Go on then. What? Prog, you can give me your two.
I'm sticking with this until we do it. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Oh, what a shout. And last one.
See, now I could easily go for another Kevin Costner film here. I'm in the mood for a bit of Costner. Do you know what? I'm going to go for one I haven't seen for years, but I remember enjoying it. And I want to see how it's held up. No Way Out.
Right. And you? Go on then.
Yeah, I really want to put Robin Hood Men in Tights in. I think we might be too many Robin Hoods, so I'll hold that one back for another time. I'm going to put in Conan the Barbarian. We haven't had a Arnie film for a while.
You're mixing him over.
Yeah.
When you put Escape Plan in as well, then.
And just because it's got a banging top tune, St. Elmo's Fire.
Oh, nice.
Have you seen it?
I have never seen it, no.
No, I've never seen it either.
Oh, can't wait for that to come out.
Are we? Are we discounting Adam because he's not here?
Yeah.
Yeah, he forfeited that.
Right. I'm gonna go the paper because that's gonna come out soon.
Mm.
And yes. And
one day we got to let Evan pick first, right? And then every one of us picks the paper as our two choices
Are you
afterwards.
allowed to put? Are you allowed to put the same nomination down twice?
no, it's good. No, I'd say it's got to be different. Got to be different. Yeah, and I'm gonna go for Dick Tracy.
Oh my god!
Nice.
It's at least like 50% better than last week's.
That's true.
Nice. Are we ready?
Spin it.
Oh, finally!
True Romance.
True Romance.
Who's True Romance? What's his name's first film? Tarantino's first film.
Oh, it's a Tony Scott film. But Tarantino wrote
the script. I thought, okay. I knew he had an element to it. Okay, cool. Right. Podcasts come out every Thursday. Check out our social media and also check out our YouTube channel where all video podcasts go on and we do some extra content on there. Cheers all.